Okay, welcome back. This lesson is on the greatest common factor. So let's go over what a factor is. A factor is a part of a number that can be divided out without leaving a remainder. So if we have the number 20, it's all the parts of 20 that can be multiplied into 20 without leaving a remainder. So an example of 20 factors would be 1. We know that 1 can be multiplied to get 20. 2 is a factor of 20. 4, 5, 10, and the number itself, 20. So these are all considered to be factors of 20. Now, when we think of greatest common factor, we know that we have to find a common factor. So that means we're comparing two different numbers. We have to find the biggest factor between the two numbers. And we can also call greatest common factor GCF. It's also known as GCF. So if you look at this example right here, between 15 and 30, we're going to use these two numbers, compare them, and find the factor that's the biggest between them. And there's two methods to solve this. So the first method is very simple. All you need to do is list out the factors. So 15, I know the factors of 15 would be 1, 3, 5, and 15. For 30, the factors are 1, 2, 5, 6, 10, oh, I forgot 3, and 30 itself. So if I look at these, oh, and I have one more, 15. So I look at these and I think of all the common factors. So I know 1 is a common factor, 5 is a common factor, and 15 is a common factor. Now those are all considered common factors, but we're looking for the greatest common factor. So for this problem, the answer would be 15. So the GCF is 15. Now, another method to solve this would be to list out the two numbers. So let's say 15 and 30 like this. I'm going to draw a little L shape around the two numbers. Then from here, I just want to find any common factor, except for 1, of course, any common factor between the two numbers. So let's say 5. I'm going to write that right outside the box. Now, if I pull 5 out of 15, or 15 divided by 5, I get 3. I'm going to write that right below the 15. And then right here, if I take a 5 out of 30, or 30 divided by 5, then I get 6. Now I look at these two numbers, the two numbers that I just wrote, 3 and 6. Do they have anything common? I know that 3 can go into both of these numbers. So, since I know that they have a common factor, I'm going to write another box under. Now the common factor was 3. So I'm going to write that common factor on the outside. And again, 3 divided by 3, if I pull a 3 out, it's going to be left with 1. From 6, if I take a 3 out, or 6 divided by 3, then I get 2. So I look at these two numbers, 1 and 2. The only common factor between 1 and 2 is the number 1. Now, I'm not going to consider 1, okay, because all numbers have a common factor of 1. So there, I'm done. Now I'm going to take all the numbers that I have on the side. So 5 and 3, I'm going to circle them, and I'm going to multiply them out. So it's going to be 5 times 3. My answer is 15. Therefore, my GCF is 15. Okay, let's do another example. Now I'm going to be using method 2. If you want, you can pause the video, and I want you to try both methods. Okay, the first method was listing out all the factors for each number and then finding the greatest common one. And the second method was listing them out, and you're going to pull out one common factor at a time, and then you're going to multiply all of those common factors. So go ahead and pause and work on this problem right now. Okay, so I'm going to use method 2 for these examples. I'm going to write out the two numbers, 6 and 18. Okay, I'm going to draw this little L-shaped box around it. And I'm going to think of a common factor. So let's see, 6 and 18. I know that they're both even numbers, so I am going to take out a 2. Whenever they're both even numbers, they have a common factor of 2. So if I pull out a 2 from 6, okay, so that means I'm going to do 6 divided by 2, I'm going to get 3. I write that right below the 6. And then from 18, if I pull out a 2, okay, so 18 divided by 2, I get 9. 3 and 9, they do have a common factor. So I'm going to draw another one of these, and their common factor is 3. So if I do 3 divided by this number 3, then I get a 1. And I do 9 divided by 3, and I get a 3. So again, these bottom numbers, 1 and 3, they only have a common factor of 1, which means that I'm done. So I take these two numbers on the side. Okay, you're going to take all the numbers and you're going to multiply them out. So it's going to be, so the GCF of 6 and 18 is 2 times 3, which is going to be 6. Okay, the next example with 36 and 27. Okay, these numbers are a little bit bigger, so you just have to take one common factor out. So we have 36 and we have 27. Let's see. I know that 3 goes into 36 and 3 goes into 27. So I'm going to take out a 3. 36 divided by 3 is 12. And 27 divided by 3 is 9. Again, they have a common factor besides 1. So draw another box. And the common factor between 12 and 9 is 3. When I divide 12 and 3, I get 4. And 9 divided by 3 is 3. So with these two numbers, their only common factor is 1. That means I no longer have to pull out common factors. And these two numbers on the side, I'm going to multiply out. So the GCF is 9. Okay, this next example, 4 and 42. They're both even numbers, so I can just take out a 2 because I know even numbers have a common factor of 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 42 divided by 2 is 21. Okay. Do they have a common factor? I think they do, so we're going to draw this again. And we're going to pull out another common factor, which is a 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1, and 21 divided by 7 is 3. Again, they only have a common factor of 1, so that's when I take the numbers on the side, and I'm going to multiply them out. So the GCF is 14. Okay, last example, 54 and 36. Again, these numbers are a little big, so you can just think of a small common factor. These are both even numbers, so I know that a 2 goes into both of them. I can just take that 2 out. Okay. Now, 54 divided by 2 is 27, and 36 divided by 2 is 18. Okay. Now, for this one, if you pull out another example, okay, you'll still get the same answer. So, for example, a 6 goes into both of these numbers. So, if you take out a 6, then your numbers are going to be different than mine, but we'll still get the same answer. Okay. So, from these two numbers, 27 and 18, I know that a 3 goes into both. So, 27 divided by 3 is 9. 18 divided by 3 is 6. Okay, 9 and 6. They do have a common factor, so I have to do this one more time. And their common factor is 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. From these two numbers, 3 and 2, their common factor is 1. That means I can take all the numbers on the side, not the bottom numbers, only the side, and I'm going to multiply them out. So the GCF is going to be 3 times 3 times 2. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. So the GCF, the greatest common factor between 54 and 36, is 18. And that was a lesson for greatest common factor. Thank you for watching educator.com.